Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the continuation of Eat the Reich, Friends Occasionally Navigating Dungeons, where we're here again with Cody, Joe, Brett, and my wife Jessica. And the story so far is they are all playing vampires who have been airlifted into behind enemy lines at in 1943's Paris. They fought their way through about half of the city at this point, have stolen a car, and are en route to try and get to the Eiffel Tower, scale it, and kill the hell out of Hitler, who is at the top, about to make an announcement that might shock the world. And just
Is
as a
it that
recap,
he's going to become president of the United States?
He's holding free and fair elections. Who saw that coming?
uh, and again, this game is surprisingly relevant. And just another brief recap as to who's who. Cody is playing Cosgrave. Brett is playing Flint, a big, terrifying man-bat creature. Cosgrave is a Louisiana necromancer who is on the run from the undead mafia. Joe is playing Chuck, a
Howdy.
Wild West cowboy who is fighting for freedom overseas. And Jesse is playing Irina, a vampire socialite who is funding most of the this whole enterprise, and has quite a bone to pick with the Nazis herself because they invaded her homeland. So, as we left off, they had just stolen a car and were racing out of the artsy quarter of Paris before reinforcements showed up and heading towards a strangely abandoned looking amusement park off in the distance. So that's where we're picking up. They had stolen a reliable German imports they are using to approach, and it they're leaving the sirens behind them at the garage. Somewhere off in the distance, they're hearing more cars converge on the area where they had been. And as they're approaching the amusement park, there's things don't seem right. It seems darker here than it should be. It's nighttime, sure, and as you get closer, you see the lights are on for a lot of the attractions and the rides and things, but they seem somehow dimmer than you'd expect. Um, they're circling overhead are flocks of carrion birds, crows, ravens, hard to tell from your approach. They're too high up. There is an abandoned tank that you find on the side of the road as the city drops away and you're heading through a bit of
Ooh,
countryside
I got that tool belt.
to get to the amusement park. Do you stop and examine the tank, or are you saving that for later?
Mm, what do you
Hmm.
guys think? I don't know what we're going to do with the tank right now, but I also don't know what's hanging out in the amusement park. So,
Yes,
So,
exactly.
hmm.
could there be anything in the
If
tank that'd be useful?
What was that?
The tank itself?
I mean, there is the tank itself
It is a
potentially.
tank.
It is a
It is a
tank.
tank.
Are you stopping and checking it out, or are you going by?
Angie, do you really have to
What
stand
do,
on my notes?
what do y'all think? I can't hear you, Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Has there been any evidence that we have been pursued to this point?
Um, no, the most of the sirens and the lights do seem like they're still fairly far behind you. So it looks like you snuck out of the garage just before the reinforcements, had a chance to catch wind of you.
I think maybe if there's nobody next to us, we could take a quick peek-see.
Reckon I did always want to get a good look at one of them tanks, so
Okay.
can't hurt.
Um, so all right. Are you all stepping out, or just like a couple of you, or
I'm still in the roof of the car.
okay?
It's hanging out.
All right. So those of you who are getting out of the car, you go over and you see why the tank was abandoned. It's like rusted through. Like the treads are falling apart. It wasn't quite as as visible from your spot on the road, but Yeah, the treads are rusted through. Like rust is covering like a lot of the just the outer armor of it.
I
And
can fix this. This is where that jerry rigging comes in handy. Just give me a pack of chewing gum and some twine. I can MacGyver this. I don't even know what that means because it's 1943, but
I mean, you can certainly try if you want to.
no, I don't
Um,
want to do that.
I'm
okay.
going to stay with the car that we have. Out of character, I'm kind of wondering if there's a rust monster analog in
Hmm.
this.
Yeah, can you describe? I don't think you were done describing the tank before I interrupted you. I
Oh, it's okay.
apologize.
It's okay. Yeah, it looks like I mean, there are definitely tread marks in the soil and whatnot leading up to where it stopped, and yeah, leading for like a couple of yards before it got to the point where it is. Yeah, there's like little bits of the treads and tiny, bits of the armor plating that are just like that look like they fell off behind it as it was approaching and it was heading towards the direction that you guys are.
I was going to ask if it looked like it was headed toward the amusement park. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah,
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
you can always pick a different destination, but you'd be heading back towards where you know there's Nazis that are swarming where you had been.
Give us a full description of the inside of the tank. Is there anything in there that might be worth searching for or not?
Well, the hatch is open, which is good because if it hadn't been, you think it's likely it would have been rusted shut. Um, and if you peek inside, it looks like whoever had been driving it hasn't left a ton behind. Like there might be like the manual for it and everything, but you're not going to find like any sidearms or anything. It looks like they bailed and went somewhere else. The inside also does look like it is starting to corrode.
can fix it. No. Um,
I can fix her. So
We should
yeah, go
uh,
ahead.
we should have Flint throw the tank into someplace far into the amusement park to cause a distraction.
And I'd say at this point you're probably a couple hundred yards out from like the entrance to the park.
I mean, do we want to soldier on into the amusement park and what sounds like most likely some sort of terrible encounter, or do we want to take our luck with the Nazis the other way?
Can we see a ticket booth that's lit up?
Yeah, if you're only a few hundred yards away, yeah, the entrance does have like your standard gates and everything, and yeah, there's a ticket booth. It's not manned right now.
Oh,
It does appear to be lit up.
I know you had mentioned that there are, carrion birds and whatnot. Is there any sign of any human life in that direction?
Um, Life? No. It
Hmm.
oh
appears
no.
eerily deserted. There might be, I mean, something has to be attracting the crows and such, so there might be bodies, but you don't see any direct signs of life, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Or or do you? You do see some movement beyond the gate. I mean, it's hard to really make out from this distance, especially because you've got like the outside wall of the park and whatnot kind of in the way, but you
Are we
do see
about to get
something.
Wolfenstein?
Maybe.
I was I was thinking there's a board game called Carnival Zombie. What if this is amusement park zombie?
Only one way to find out.
Movement
I think
catches
it
my
sounds
eye
like
and
a
I start
fun way to fight.
snarling at it.
I mean, we have to go find out what's up, I feel like.
I mean, you could double back and try to get to one of the other areas that jumped out at you. It's up
I
to
ain't
you.
never walked away from no fight in my life.
That's the spirit. So we definitely have one solid vote for going in.
There is other undead. We cannot drink them.
That is
That is
true.
true.
That is true. Maybe we
You
can
hear
find a container with some scared workers huddling inside.
you hear some
That's also
shouting from the inside of the amusement park. It is in German.
Shouting. Okay, that
Shouting.
means we can eat somebody. Maybe. If we get there quick enough.
Maybe.
Yeah, I have always enjoyed some carnival food, so
I said all that with a Cajun accent, by the way.
Of course.
Carnival Nazis?
So are you still deliberating, or are you heading towards the entrance? Does not
I
look like
say
you can
let's
drive
go
the
for it. But what do y'all think?
Let's do it.
does not
I
look like
say
you can
let's
drive
do
the
it right
car.
there.
Yeah, it does not look like you could drive the car into the park, but you can drive it up to the gate, that for sure. All right,
Go
so if
ahead.
are you advancing on foot, or are you taking the car like as close as you can get?
Mm,
This feels like a trick question.
It does.
Something's going to happen
yeah.
to the car.
Is it too
Maybe.
loud? Do we need to like walk up on foot?
I mean, it
Oh,
does make a
Jess,
specific.
go.
Go ahead.
I am going to take a look around. Is there a parking lot, be it for horses or automobiles?
Yeah, I'd say there's one off to the side of the main entrance.
How do the vehicles look there? Are those also rusted through, or do
Ooh.
they look normal?
There's only a handful. There's like one or two, and yeah, they look in pretty sorry shape.
Ooh,
I think maybe we should approach on foot.
I agree.
Okay,
Or wing.
or wing. All right, so as you're approaching the entrance, suddenly a group of they're Nazis. You can't really like make out much in way of like what squad they might be part of or whatnot. They come running out, of the entrance, and they look terrified. They're shouting at each other. You don't speak German, so you're not 100% sure what they're saying. Then they see all of you, and they freeze for a second. Some are like looking back over their shoulders, and the others are like they drop down and they've got their guns ready, but you can see like the barrels are shaking as they're pointing them at you. And ball's in your court. Whoever wants to go first, they're shouting at you. They're kind of like shouting at each other. And it seems like they are confused and terrified of something. Part of that something might be you. It's hard to say. Back to the right page here. One
Me.
the one in front is like he's gesturing his gun at you and then at the tank, and sort of like going back and forth between like sort of a you get away from that sort of a motion, if you had to guess at what he's trying to tell you.
Raise my hands and step away from the tank.
Okay, I'm assuming you probably advanced a little bit from there, but they just want to make sure
I was
that.
going to say, are we still that close to the tank?
Well, I mean, you were approaching, so you've probably covered maybe 50 yards between you and the
Okay.
entrance, so it's probably like another 150. So there's probably 100 yards between you and them, I would say. Like I said, they came running out full bore, saw you, and then they saw you were between them and the tank, and yeah, so they kind of stopped at a midway point. So about a football field's worth of distance between all of you. Um, And okay, so you're backing away from the tank. Anyone taking any direct offensive measures?
Kind of debating it.
So
Seems like it could be an easy meal.
We get up close, we can drink them.
That's true. We
But
could get some blood.
perhaps
are you saying this like out loud?
quietly.
Okay, so not loud enough for them to overhear. Okay, because you never know that some of them might speak English.
I think I'm going to join Arena in putting my hands up.
Okay, when they see that you're slow to react, the one of the ones in front starts shouting in French, seeing if they has any greater response. And
Cosgrave, go. Now's your chance.
And he says it's a little bit of broken French, but it's enough to piece together. He's basically get away from our tank. Get out of here. I don't know why you're here. I don't know who you are. Right now, I don't care. Just leave. She's gone crazy. We will shoot
Well,
you if you
Is that you?
wait. Is he still talking? Go.
Yeah. We will shoot you if you do not get out of our way. And he waits to see if there's any sort of like comprehension or response from any of you.
Side as well.
So you broke up there for a
You
second.
broke up. Yeah.
I will also raise my hands and walk to the side.
Okay. Do you respond in any way, or
In French, I will say back, "We mean you no harm. Go on your way."
and he actually almost looks a little surprised that they actually replied. He's like, he gestures to the rest of his men, and they dart for the tank to see if they can, maybe they can salvage it or something. He follows along, still at kind of a brisk pace, but slower behind them, keeping his gun trained on all of you. And he says,
Is he like two joystick strafing or just one joystick strafing?
pretty much just one.
Okay.
He's like, yeah,
We could take him then.
but yeah, he says, I don't know who the hell you are, but you should leave too. And at that point, he joins the others, and they're trying to like fix the tank, and there's angry shouting in German as one like hammers on the side of it. Part of it like falls away, and at that point they just run. They just like book it as in the opposite direction of the amusement park as fast as they can.
Well, at least they did not think to take our car.
They were panicking.
Well, there goes my meal.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably catch up. Flint could certainly catch up to them. You have a car, you could catch up to them if you want to like run them over and get blood. They are Nazis. They weren't the meanest Nazis you've run into so far, but they are still Nazi scum.
I don't want to drink their yeller blood anyway.
Fair enough. Just saying the options there if you did want to run them over. Okay, so you've got a deserted question mark amusement park and a squad of Nazis running full bore away from you. Still sure you want to go in there?
Not in the least.
But thou must. Well, you don't really have to, but I mean,
What are you thinking, Cosgrave?
So I think we can go on and take whatever this is, Ian. My only worry is that my powers are going to be fairly useless because I don't think I'm going to terrify this thing, whatever it is.
I'm curious that when Nancy Filler said she's gone crazy or something like that, sounds like there might only be one individual involved in this. Although if she scared all of them, who knows what's going on?
Again, only one way to find out.
Well, I think we got to investigate.
Let's do it.
Okay, so
I need to earn me one of those 80 advances on my card down here.
I think you're in store for one if you survive this.
Better be careful, or you're going to be hearing a hillbilly elegy.
All right, so you advance into the amusement park, and like I said, a surprising amount is like still lit up, but it seems like the energy is being sapped out of even the light here. Like there's midway games with that should be lit up. The thing with the hammer that where you hit it and try to ring the bell has lights on the side, but those seem dim. The various rides and just sideshow booths and whatnot have lights, but they seem really dim. It's weird and very, very off-putting. And even the atmosphere of the place feels strange. Like its sound feels deadened. Everything feels lifeless, or like the life is being drained out of it somehow. But yeah, it's set up. It's a pretty big place. The sizable Ferris wheel in the background. There's carousels. There's various games of darts and things like that are all abandoned. And you do see as you go through, there are bodies here and there laying lifeless, just on the ground.
Civilians or in uniform?
Yes, both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, not a ton, but there are some that are certainly in like street clothes, and there are some that are in the jackboots and whatnot of Nazi paraphernalia.
Are there
Um,
any like obvious wounds of any kind? Like
um,
what condition are the bodies in?
they look like they're just sort of rotting. Like from what you can examine them a bit, and it looks like they've just had the life kind of drained out of them,
Hmm.
and they're kind of just falling apart. Like anything that was holding them together just stopped, is kind of the best way to describe it.
That's our deal. That's it. This is war.
And
Well, I can definitely take down whatever this is with my six shooters.
well, I mean, again, bullets are effective against a lot of things. Are you kind of just staying on the periphery? Are you venturing further in?
If this were another vampire game, I'd think we were up against one of the antediluvians.
We
So
sneak.
you can try to sneak. Yeah, I would say the objective here is basically navigate through the collapsing fairground while being hunted by the thing I'm not going to name until you run into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, yeah, everything, even like the jingles and bells that occasionally sound from some of the booths seems kind of muted and weird. Um, so yeah, it's an objective 10 points of against it with a challenge rating of 1 because this place is not in good repair. Actually, as you venture past one of the rides, a strut gives out and it kind of collapses a little bit.
Well,
So
I think I'm gonna sneak a little bit,
okay,
hide between the booths, and try to proceed further into the amusement park. See if
okay,
we can get a glimpse of what's going on in here.
okay. Give me a roll.
I have one success.
Okay, not enough to get past the challenge rating of the objective. But I will say you do hear. Let's see. You do hear a voice, and it's hard to pinpoint where it's coming from. It's a female voice, and it says, "Oh, more guests," and it says it in English, oddly enough.
I would like to roll to shit my pants.
uh, let's see, that would be terrifying, I think. Um, but again, it just sort of like carries through somewhere in the depths of the park, and it's a little hard to pinpoint where it's coming from.
I think I'm gonna roll for search to try to figure out where it is coming from.
Sure, nothing has attacked you yet,
Is it
so
possible to assist in a roll?
nope, because it's one player at a
Okay.
time. So yeah,
Okay.
I did not have any successes.
okay.
Ooh,
And the
I did
voice,
get a one though, so since there's all these corpses around, can I get a blood point for that?
sure, the blood is going to taste terrible, like it's old and stale, but you can get a blood point. Um,
Yay.
you in response to you like furtively searching around, the voice actually says something else. Um, it says, "Blind little mice searching for the one that they don't realize is a cat." And there's a bit of a laughter at the end of that.
I don't like this.
Perhaps we should get out of here.
And such impolite guests.
Brett,
Not
Brett, were you
even.
just talking?
Oh, go
I
ahead. I'm
couldn't.
sorry.
I think you're muted, maybe, or something.
Oh,
I cannot hear you, Brett. Nope.
mm-mm. Uh-oh. Okay, technical difficulties. I'll pause for.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thing.
that's
Oh,
better.
I
maybe.
had to
Hey.
There we go.
pick a different microphone and then come back to this one.
Oh, weird.
Weird.
Okay, so what were you about to say?
I was just saying that I get down on all fours and I start snarling.
Okay, so the voice does after that say, "Such impolite guests, not responding to their hosts, and now acting like the dogs they are. Well, we know how to deal with dogs, don't we?" And there is a loud snap, like it's the only way to describe it, like steel just coming apart, and it resonates across the entire amusement park, and you hear a screeching and just this crash and rumble as the Ferris wheel falls off of its axle and starts rolling towards you. And if you're looking closely on the top, there is a figure that is just sort of hovering over the top of it as it's rolling towards you. Human-sized, human-shaped, something else, definitively. And
If not food, then why food shaped?
it could still be food. Could
We
still
are
certainly.
also food shaped.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Oh no.
So it's just a dramatic entrance, considering what it rolled. So it crashes through several of the stalls further in, and ends up hitting one of the carousels, and that sends it into kind of like a spin that crashes into another ride off to the side. The figure drifts down to the ground and out of sight.
Oh no.
So, it knows you're here. What do you do?
Did we try talking to it? Or is it too late?
You can always try talking. I mean, yeah, you could try to like con your way through it, or if you want to try to intimidate it, you can. Um, but yeah, you can try talking, especially because it actually speaks English, which is weird.
Well, I think Irina and Flint are the only two that have not taken a turn yet.
Hmm.
So leave
Let
it on
Flint
you
do the
two.
talking. No, uh,
Um, all right, I will try to be all suave and everything and greetings. No one was at the ticket booth. We apologize for trespassing. Perhaps we can help you.
there's a brief pause, and then the most spiteful laughter you've ever heard in your life. Help. No, 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 no. No one helps me. I'm at the point where I'm helping myself, and it has been far too long. And again, it just sort of seems to be coming from everywhere at once, this voice. It doesn't immediately lash out at you from wherever it is, but doesn't seem like it's persuaded her of anything either. Unless you wanted to try to make a con roll to see if
I will make a con roll.
okay.
Unsuccess.
Okay. Yeah, still same response.
Yeah.
So that leaves Flint for this round. And then the shit's gonna hit the fan. Potentially.
Flint, have a heart-to-heart with her.
Monster to
What that
monster.
would be like. Um,
And again, you don't have to talk. You can, yeah.
I what's this gonna do? I spend one blood to pick up a popcorn machine and chuck it in the distance where I think the sound might be coming from.
Okay, go for it.
So, um, will this be a roll and even?
So you're throwing it.
Yeah,
Let me see if it says in your let's see. Check something.
yeah.
Motion heavy is rising distance. I would say it would probably be
I feel like
it would probably be
shoot because
shoot.
it's a projectile kind of sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes the most sense. But you do get a +1 die to it because you're using that ability. So you might hit
Okay.
her.
All right, we'll see. 4 and a 5. 2.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you chuck it in the direction of like where the Ferris wheel, initially collapsed and where she hopped down. And there's it goes over the top of the stand that collapsed, and there's a crash, and there is like just a cloud of popcorn that flies into the night sky, and uh, a brief moment of silence, and then what you can only describe as like a growl, and she says, "So it is going to be that way. Well enough." And stepping out from around the corner is a woman dressed in like a tattered dress, very dark. She is not terribly tall. She's doesn't look terribly imposing, especially for having possibly just taken a popcorn machine to the face. But yeah, just very pale skin, tattered clothing. She doesn't look to be armed, but there is like this aura around her that just feels wrong. That just it feels like it is just enervating, like it is pulling anything lively or vibrant in her immediate area towards her, and it is very off-putting. Okay, I think that was it for that round. And let's see.
We did.
Cody, the
Nope.
skull that you were carrying, the
Oh,
priest's skull, it looks up at you and it says, "Oh no." And it just sort of disintegrates, like this, the flesh sloughs off of its
bitch,
off
it
the
is on
bones,
now. Now
and
I'm
yeah,
going
it
to be
just
whooping
falls
your
apart.
ass.
So yeah, it is fallen apart.
That had one more use. Now I
Had being
am
the operative
pissed.
word.
Now I
All
am
right.
pissed.
Well, it sounds like Cody might be taking points in this round.
Have
So
at.
yeah.
Fucking son of a bitch.
So what are
Summon
you
the
trying to
Stay
do?
Puft Marshmallow Man.
I mean, he does have ghosts and things.
It's this thing. We don't know anything about this particular character's like numbers or anything. Yes, no.
I will say she is very tough. She has 9 hit points left, or 9 threat points, as it were. But that's really all that I can tell you. Although the aura around her does affect your rolls a little bit.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, only 5s and 6s are successes.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
no. I'm
So
I'm not feeling very amused in this park.
Nope.
for ease of reference, if you wanted to call her something, she is only known as the Rust Witch, or Rosthexe, if you wanted to say it in German.
I feel like I dated one of those ones.
Well, you got an extra grind then too.
Sport. Um. All right. I don't know how close I can get to her, but I'm gonna try to.
I'm gonna say if you need to close the distance to do what you're doing, you can run up and do the thing.
I'm gonna run up to her, whip out my sawn-off shotgun,
Is that what
and
you calling it?
try to shoot her in the face.
Okay. And
Rust that face right off.
And just so you know, for her counterattack, she has 4 points of damage coming at you.
Holy
If
shit! I'm gonna run
Ooh.
the other way. Go see if that tank works outside the park. 4? Holy frick!
And keep in mind, you can use your successes to defend and stuff.
Well, yeah, won't be any successes left. So yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Hoping for at least 1/6 here because I'd like to use one of my abilities here.
Okay.
And that didn't happen. So I have two
Okay.
5s. So I will use both those for defense, I guess.
Okay. So as you run up and you bring your gun to bear,
Woo.
you fire up a shot, and she just sort of I mean, you bring it up to fire, but as you're lifting the gun, you feel like just the energy draining from your arm. Like you hold it up and you manage to get the shot off, but it's despite being a sawed-off shotgun, it is wide. Oh, actually, did you add the extra 2 dice for point blank range?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So it's just all of a sudden the strength goes out of your arm, and the shot, goes wide, and unfortunately misses her. I do believe that was 2 uses of that gun. So your next use and final use will get you an extra die because it's kind of like the Blaze of Glory mechanic for the last use of an item. So yeah, and she just kind of looks down at you or looks up at you because she's not terribly tall, and she smiles.
Do I take damage then?
Yep, you take 2 points of damage. Or roll the d6, and as long as you don't have both of those columns filled, you take both in that column.
Okay. Shot in the face, so maybe a bullet came back to hit me.
Oh, that could make sense. She does affect fate and fortune and luck and that sort of thing.
I am now ugly, and I have +2 more to terrify, but I now am -2 to convince people.
Ooh.
And
Scare the pants off her, Cody.
I also had my grimoire damaged as
Oh
well.
no,
Ooh.
Ooh,
that
This is
sounds
turning
bad.
pretty quickly here.
ouch. All right. Well, the rest of you
How the hell are we going to
help.
beat a 4? That's ridiculous.
Well, seeing what just transpired, I'm gonna step out from the sideline, whip back my overcoat to reveal my trusted girls Betsy and Maria at my sides, and ask this she-witch if she's ever stood up against a real gunslinger.
Ooh.
Challenge her to a duel.
She looks over at you, smirks. It turns entirely away from Cosgrave, and as she doesn't seem to have any sort of gun, but she, does have her hand ready at her side, as if she's looking to draw something. She's like, "All right."
All right, so
So, so
I
yeah,
get +1 for using equipment and then +1 for duel.
yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm rolling 5. Oh boy. All right.
6 is all we can do.
I got 2 4s and a 6.
Fours don't
Okay.
count.
So she got 2 successes on her roll.
No.
So you could use the 6 to as defense to because she brings her hand up, and just the air seems to turn dark around the edge of her hand, and she flings this cloud of darkness at you. You could use your 6 as to negate that 2 points of damage to duck out of the way, and that still leaves you 1 where you could flinker if you wanted, or you could use it for something else. It's up to you.
Would that leave me any? Didn't we need, because the 6 is the only one that would count, right?
Oh, right, because it's 5s and
Because
6s.
it's
That's
5s and
right. I forgot
6s.
about that. You're
So
right. Yep. So you can
I
avoid the damage.
I will pull a matrix and avoid the damage.
Okay. So yeah, she means business.
Oh man.
I will say at least the popcorn machine did plink her a bit. So okay, so that that brings us to either Flint or Irina.
Jesus.
It is a boss character, so I mean,
Yeah, go for it, Flint.
All right.
and keep in
I'm
mind
gonna
all the stuff in the amusement park. If you think of anything that might seem sensible to use to your advantage, go for it.
I'm gonna take advantage of the flickering lights. I'm gonna quickly duck into the shadows behind some of the tents, circle around behind, and with my steel gouging claws, attempt to stab her in the back.
Okay. Considering that she is in like duel mode and fixated on Chuck right now, that seems like it would work for an ambush. So yeah. So that is one for the item, one for ambush, and four for brawl. So yeah, that's six dice.
One five and one six.
Okay. And since she was distracted with the duel, I'll say she doesn't get as many dice to roll. She had one success in that, so I would recommend using the five to negate damage if you're going to do that, and using the six to probably hurt her or do something. I mean, and keep in mind, you don't necessarily have to kill everything you fight. You can just try to like create distractions to or like obstructions that she can't easily get through, and like try to just run your way through here. It's up to you guys, or you can just try to take her out. But I just want to make sure you know that you don't have to necessarily kill everything you fight.
Hmm.
I'm gonna roll the dice figuratively here
The
and
first rule of my
take
personal code is I have to kill everything I fight.
I'm
All
gonna
right then.
absorb the damage and put all of it on our
Oh, oh, onto the rest of it on the objective, or
yes.
okay, gotcha. So that is down to an 8 for the objective then. Okay, so yeah, you go up behind her, and she manages to notice you're there just in the nick of time. So she swings, her hand over in your direction with another glowy black aura. You manage to duck out of the way of that. And what do you do to try and help the rest of the team get through the amusement park? Do you like um, shred a tent so that something falls down and like covers her, or do you like try to knock something over so that it's between all of you and she and her, or what do you do?
You're saying I have more to do?
Well, I mean, you said you were putting 2 points towards the objective. Just like, how were you doing that? Just like in terms of cinematic sense. That's all.
Oh,
Because I mean, if you want, I can decide for you, but I don't necessarily want to take that player agency away from people if they
gotcha.
if they have ideas.
I was just trying to do damage to her, so I was
Oh, you were okay. I thought you were putting that towards the
slashing at her.
objective. Oh, okay, gotcha. So objective is still at 10 then. So yeah, I misunderstood. That was my bad. So yeah, so she does like a backhand trying to hit you. You duck underneath it, and you just rake your claws against like the back of her legs, and she hisses at you. She's definitely hurt. There's like her dress shreds more, and there's you can see blood seeping out from the other side. But yeah, she you definitely have her attention now, and she is wounded and pissed off.
Time for Operation Human Leechapede. Let's go, guys.
All right, that brings us to I think Irina's the only one left.
Yeah. Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. Trying to decide what to do here. I don't have any blood right now, so I can't use any of my abilities. Um,
I would say if you wanted to try to like take a drink, excuse me, from one of the bodies that's laying around, you could do like a sneak roll to avoid notice and just restore some of your blood points. I would
Hmm.
allow that as an option if you wanted to do that.
Sure, I will try sneaking.
Okay,
Oh, I got a 5.
there you go. Yeah, so you'd be able to sneak over and drink a point of blood from one of the corpses that's laying around.
Okay, and since I'm sneaking, I do it behind a tent, so I am out of sight.
Okay. Yeah, and you're not directly attacking the Rust Witch, and she certainly has bigger fish to fry right now. So yeah, I would say, yeah, she is distracted enough that she does not take a swing at you. Okay, which brings us to
Okay.
the next round. Let's see, who had the rifle that they took from
Me.
the that you notice it the strap that you had it attached to your back with you feel it give way, it clunks to the ground, and you can see it's covered in rust.
God damn it. That was
So
that was gonna be my next move.
oh crap, I'm sorry.
Well, guess no
Oh,
more rifle.
Oh.
Think that's bad. I lost a priest's head.
Those are hard to come by.
I won't even tell you what I was planning to do with that in the final act.
Hey, Hitler catch.
I mean,
uh
I was gonna make a really gross joke. Anyway,
Oh, you were probably right.
Okay, so top of a new round, everyone's free to act if someone wants to go first.
hey, I am going to create a distraction.
Mhm.
Using that blood that I just got, I am going to conjure up knights willing servants, summon a swarm of bats under my control, which does get a plus for the old buildings. I would say that a falling apart amusement park
Yeah, it's old
works.
enough, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, so what would I roll for that?
So you're trying to just do it as like a distraction?
Yeah,
I would say either con or terrify,
okay. I
because
will go with con since that's my better stat.
okay. So total of 6 dice, it looks like.
Okay. Okay.
That is a whole lot of ones, twos, and threes that you rolled.
Hey. Okay. So since a 4 doesn't count, I got a 5 and a 6.
Okay. So that is she did get one success on her roll to like retaliate. So you can use one of those to soak that,
I'll
which still
use the
leave
5.
sounds good. All right, so 2 successes, and you were doing this to basically lower her threat level.
Yes.
Okay, so brings it down to a 5. So yeah, all of a sudden, bats just erupt from between all the rides and the decaying stalls and whatnot, and just swarm around her. Then
Let me just read that again. Yeah,
okay,
hopefully distract her so that my teammates can more easily take her down.
yeah, she was not expecting that, and she's trying to protect her face and whatnot as they're swarming around her. So yeah, she is definitely that definitely had an impact. So nicely done.
Excellent.
Okay, so she is down to 5 at this point for her threat. So who wants to go next? I mean, Chuck did just lose his shiny rifle. He might be a little ticked off about that.
yeah. I reckon at this point I'm just gonna throw myself at her and try to get into an old-fashioned scrap because I'm worried about Betsy and Maria if I try to pull them out against this rust witch. So
Ooh.
I'm just gonna get into a good old-fashioned brawl.
Okay. Um, let's see. Seeing if you have anything that would work to enhance that. Okay. Um, All right, give me a brawl roll, and we'll see.
I have 1 6.
Okay, that does still count as two successes. She is distracted by the bats, so I'll have her roll fewer dice.
Hey.
3, 3, 3, 2. So all right. So that counts as two successes. You can use them both as damage against her.
Yes.
Um, hmm, all right. Hidden ladies, what is the world coming to? So
Not sure I would necessarily call this a lady.
so yeah, you rear back and just like cold cock her in the face, and she some things don't require any sort of translation. You're sure she's swearing, and it's in German this time. And yeah, she is fending off attacks from like three different directions at this point. So that leaves Cosgrave and Flint.
I'll take my turn.
All right.
I spend a point of blood, and I leap into the sky again. I fly around, make a lap around. I speed down, and I try to trip up her like from behind, like take her legs out.
Okay. All right, that works. So yeah, you are fighting from the air, so I would say that counts as aerial combat. So that's two extra dice for your ability and the situation. Roll of 4, so 6 dice total. And she was still mainly focused on you until that most recent clock to the face. So I'm going to say she gets full dice, so she has 3 successes coming your way. So.
I had a 5 and a 6.
You can soak all the damage, or she has 3 points of. Oh God, she only has 3 points of threat left. You can just dive headlong into it and take her out if you wanted to.
Yes, I do that.
Okay, that's fair. So yeah, she notices that all of a sudden you've gone up, and she still fending off the bats and stuff, and having her bell rung with that punch. She tries to track you up into the sky. Her hands come up as dark energies gather around her fingertips, and then you go low and take, like you said, you take her out at the knees. You hear bones snap as you take her legs out from under her, and she screams and falls forward and just kind of collapses in a heap. She is barely clinging to consciousness at this point, and bleeding profusely from her legs. But yeah, she does seem to be more or less as helpless as a being like this can be. So
Indeed.
all
Drink
right,
that blood.
so let me look up the exact mechanics for this, because I know you all get one of your advancements. As you sink your teeth into her body and she screams her last breath, the flavor of stinging nettles, tonic water, and pop rocks fills your mouth. It gives descriptions for the flavor of blood for all of these. You don't know what pop rocks are, but it's like a tingly sensation.
I was gonna say, do pop rocks exist right now?
They do
Because
not, unless they were developed like silly putty and they were like a happy accident for developing something else for the war. Let's see, advancements. What was that, Cody?
And I bet they are pretty old.
I mean, probably older than we expect, I would think.
that seems like something from like the 60s.
Kinda-
75. Wait, invented in
Really?
56, though.
Ooh,
Oh.
but still too old.
Yeah.
Or too new, rather, not old enough. Opposite of what I said. Getting things done. Where's advancements? Vampire stop coffins. That's all the characters.
So we all drink?
Yep. Yeah,
Cool.
she has blood enough for all. On accents, we're not used to.
We're getting regular blood or just the
Yeah,
advanced?
that's what I was gonna ask.
I would say, yeah, you would. I'm looking for where it actually. Oh, there's Uber mention. Hang on a second. When an Uber mention is defeated, all players may choose one advance on their character sheet and gain access to it for the rest of the mission. I'm going
Ooh.
to say, yeah, I would let you. Considering it's a boss character and that was really rough, I would let you roll a d6 and you get that many blood points back. Because
Okay.
you're draining her dry, so there's yeah, it seems like this is a way to kind of restock yourselves.
Is this a D6 or a D20? I can't tell. I'm not so good with sides. Whoops.
funny thing about both those dice is they both have a 1 on them.
I got a 4, so I'm all pretty happy with
Nice.
that.
Nice.
I got
3.
3.
I have 4 as
Okay.
well.
Cool. So yeah. You definitely drink your fill of this horrendous creature that you just downed, and as I said, each of you can take one of your advancements, and you have access to that for the rest of the game.
Nice.
Yeah, and again, some of them do have like blood costs and whatnot, but some of them are like just automatic. Like I just happen to flip past one of the characters you're not playing, but yeah, when you reduce the threat to 0, you gain 3 blood automatically for that one. So it's there's a whole bunch. If you need a moment to decide which one you want, go for it, and let me know when you're ready.
What does
I
discard dice mean?
Oh, that basically is any 1s, 2s, and 3s are technically discards.
Okay.
So in that fight, it would have been 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So
I have corrosive fluids, and so does my character.
or does
Okay.
that increase your spit?
When I take damage and mark an injury, I reduce the threat rating of whatever I'm fighting by 2.
Nice.
Ooh.
Very handy.
Yes.
And
Okay, question. So the boxes next to advances, that is to show that we have taken that. It's not a one-time use.
right.
Okay, cool. I am taking Hell's Ravenous Fire.
Ooh.
Yeah. Spend 1 blood to ignore challenge on your next action against a threat.
Nice. Yeah, because those. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna select bone armor,
Ooh.
which lets me use discarded dice to negate damage.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, well, ones, not 2s or 3s or something. Like,
Oh, okay.
still.
But even so, that's I mean, it is a trade-off from the oh wait, you weren't the one who automatically gets blood for rolling 1s anyway, so never mind. But yeah, that does sound very handy. All right, so the in the aftermath of that fight, the lights do seem to brighten slightly. It's like the presence of her body there is still influencing things, but like sounds become a bit clearer. And it does seem like some sort of weight, some sort of malevolence has dissipated from the area. And considering how scared the other Nazis were who ran past you when you first showed up, I don't think there's any reinforcements coming. So I'm gonna say, yeah, there's no sense in having you guys roll to get through this because at this point they're terrified. They were terrified of the Rust Witch herself. So I'm going to say if you wanted to like scrounge up any materials, like from there were some soldiers there that were dead, so they might have firearms that haven't rusted away yet. There might even be like a grenade or two if you're lucky. But
Ooh.
okay, I'll say there's there is one with grenades on his belts that
Is
have
there a
not
copy of
rusted
Navy
through yet.
SEAls? Sorry.
But yeah, so I would say you're able to scrounge up grenades, which have 3 uses, and a bonus to enclosed spaces. So someone can take those.
Uses?
That's what it says. So I'm gonna say, like, between all the dead bodies that you find here, you're able to find 3 of them that are still intact. And I would say there would be. I'm gonna do roll a die to see which if you end up getting your rifle back or if it's like a different weapon. See, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so unfortunately not a usable rifle, but you do find a couple of pistols, which are again 3 uses, and a bonus to close quarters combat. So that's what you're able to scrounge up from the corpses.
Am I taking these pistols, or does anyone else want them?
That's up to you guys.
So are there two separate pistols? Are we saying?
Yes, yeah.
I will take one of those as backup.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to overload you guys with loot too much.
Well, I'm terrible at shooting, so I'm definitely not paying one off.
Let's see here.
When you say bonus to close quarters combat,
Mhm.
is that just like you get an extra dice if you're up close and personal?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take one of the pistols.
Okay. Okay,
Oh,
so
and apparently I didn't write down how many uses the SMG has that I
oh,
got last time.
three. Generally, unless it's a really weird or a powerful item, anything you find out in the field is going to have three uses by default.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like the unfortunate priest said that I said only had two, but it
Womp
was a strange,
womp.
strange case, but it rotted away anyways.
I'm so sorry, Cosgrave.
Well, he just has another bone to pick with the Nazis now.
Can we heal ourselves while we're here too?
Yeah, as long as you have the blood to spend.
Okay. Good.
Trying to decide if I want to heal or if I want to save this blood for doing fancy stuff.
Well, there are always opportunities to get more blood if need be. It's just a matter of succeeding on it.
I think I
Right.
am going to use. I have 6 blood. I'm going to use 3 blood to heal my flesh wound.
Okay.
Same. Feels like a good time to lick my wounds, literally.
Okay. And go ahead.
This question, yes, I did pick up an ability called Memory Rot, where I can remove or implant memories from someone I lock eyes with.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Probably should have took the one that negated damage, but oh well.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's the spirit. Okay. So like I said, considering the major threat is gone, I'm not going to make you roll to find your way through the rest of the amusement park. So you pick your way through the decaying and decrepit rides and all that, and come out the other side to you can see pretty close in the distance the Eiffel Tower. It's still like probably at least half a mile away, so there's some ground to cover. But it is within sight. Your goal is within reach. But between you and it is again. This is like heavily occupied territory. A lot of things are on lockdown. There's patrols. You can see like off in the distance. Just people with flashlights and whatnot, and you can hear like the occasional shouts in not Russian, in German. Um, so there are from here. It looks like there's two areas that look like you might be able to get through without drawing too much attention. There is what looks to be a very elaborate garden, like topiary and all that. Um, it's festooned with like swastika imagery and such, so clearly built by and frequented by the Nazis themselves. So it might not be deserted at this time of night, but it might be quiet. But also, off of a little ways further in the distance, you see a large building with a lot of vehicles around it that looks heavily military, like it's perhaps some sort of vehicle and ammunition depot. So you might be able to find some nice guns there if you decide to take that route. But if you want to try to stay to lay low and be all solid sneaky, the gardens might be the better option.
I'm kind of leaning toward the stealth path at this point, but I'm open to suggestion.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Okay. So 2 votes for the garden. Any dissenting votes? I would like to say a car might get you the ensuing distance between here and the tower, faster, but then again, it's not that far. So,
Got
So
my
is
car.
are we assuming that the reliable German car we had before got destroyed by the rust witch, or is that still available?
I would say I had just said you couldn't like drive it into the amusement park itself.
Yeah.
But I'll do odds and evens to see if it is still at all intact and drivable. So odds, it has degraded enough that it's not usable. Evens, it is usable. I rolled a 3. So unfortunately, if you go back to
Ooh.
Hmm.
check, yeah, it looks okay at first, but then you notice like one of the wheels is kind of sagging and the axle has rusted through. So
had another priest head in the glove box. Could I check for that before we leave? No.
Is it too late to go back to that church to see if there are any more priests whose heads Cody could collect? I mean,
Yeah.
Cosgrave could collect.
uh, yes. Uh, so yeah, that leaves you the option of getting another vehicle or of just trying to stealth your way through, get close enough, and because you're not going to be able to take a car up the tower anyway. So there is that.
Spoken like someone who's never seen the Fast and the Furious franchise.
I actually have not seen a single one of those.
I haven't either, but it seems like something that would happen in one of those movies.
It kind of does. Uh,
Flint throw
do
the
it.
car
There you
with us
go.
in it, up at least, to.
I love that idea.
you would probably take damage from the impact
Eh.
because I mean
Ah.
the car would get there and you would get there, but you would probably have some broken bones or something,
Meh.
or it might mess up your hair.
Oh no.
But okay,
So
so
what do we think here?
I think that was multiple votes for the gardens.
I'm all right with the garden, yeah,
We-
after
we're
a
good.
big old fight.
Okay. So you're getting close, and you get to kind of within spitting distance of it, so to speak. And there are like electric street lights set up in the garden itself to provide like a nice kind of atmosphere even after the sun goes down. And so I'm just seeing if I can paraphrase this or if I should just read it out. Um, so this garden, it very clearly, like I said, put together by the Nazis, judging by all the signage being in German and the Nazi flags being flown up everywhere. Cunningly designed by some of the Third Reich's foremost landscape designers, the gardens recreate a pastoral Austrian scene in the middle of Paris. Unfortunately for the Nazi defense forces, the winding pathways, thick copses of trees, and charming ersatz waterfalls provide excellent cover for an invading gang of vampires. Unfortunately for the vampires, they also provide excellent cover for, well, you'll find out if you decide to go in.
We should have gone and stolen a Cybertruck.
But I would one other element.
You mean a swastika?
Yes.
One other element, as you get closer, you notice there's music playing. There appears to be, I mean, the lights are on, maybe not just for ease of use, but also maybe for an event. There seems to be some sort of party going on. And if you like try to surreptitiously get a glimpse through all the trees and stuff, you see there are tables spread out with food, meats and breads, and there's a beer line. And
Biergarten.
And you do see exactly, yeah. You do see various Nazi officers like milling about, seemingly celebrating whatever Hitler is about to announce from his Zeppelin atop the Eiffel Tower. So it is not abandoned as you might have hoped. That said,
Gentlemen?
it still might be. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, shall we feast?
I mean, the objective, if you decide to go here, is, and I quote, Blitzkrieg the garden party. So,
Nice.
Few grenades,
I mean, oh yeah, you do have
a
those.
bit
so,
of fighting and biting.
What's up for a nibble?
All
Sounds
right.
like a good time to me.
So you just like bursting in, like shock and awe and all that?
Who has the grenades? I think.
We got pistols.
Oh, sorry, I just noticed the cat.
Yes. Hi,
Who-
Totoro.
Who did take the grenades?
We got pistols.
Well, Cody, you're breaking up.
I thought he rolled and we only got pistols. I didn't think we got grenades.
No,
No, there
they
were grenades in that.
Oh.
I thought, Arena, didn't you take the grenades or no?
I took one of the pistols.
Okay, so
I
the
took one
grenades
of the
are
pistols,
free
too.
to anyone.
We
who wants-
left the grenades.
Someone took the
Cosgrave, you took the grenades.
I took the grenades.
Yes. You can lay claim to the grenades. That's fine.
Unless Flint wants them. I picked up the grenades.
You can
Okay.
have 'em. I'm happy with fisting people.
Now I'm French, apparently.
Did you just say you're happy with fisting people?
What?
You heard
No.
the man.
What?
My God, I didn't know this was that kind of game. Yes, I did.
Okay, so and that is hang on a second. Just writing down stats for what you're going to run into. So you know there's at least Nazi officers there. But okay, yeah. So tell me what you're doing. I mean, you see like a crowd of Nazi revelers reveling in being the pieces of human garbage that they are. Um, so do you lead with the grenades?
Yeah,
think
do
we
we
should.
want to brute force this, or do we want to try to sneak in?
You could try to blend in, I suppose.
I don't know if. Well, I
Some
guess I
of
lost
us
my
could.
cowboy hat, so
Oh yeah, yeah.
Some of us could sneak into the party, but perhaps we should just.
What was that?
Just blow them up.
Yes.
I mean, you got the
Let's do
grenades,
it.
Cosgrave.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, I'd say you could probably lob one in from outside the topiaried wall, catch them entirely by surprise to kick things off. So there's like, an Oompa band playing and all that this sort of thing, or like Oompa music is probably like on a Victrola or something. Um,
Okay.
so
Uh, it's going to be a shoot action.
considering it's ranged, yeah. But you get +1 for the grenades. And is it? Let me double check what it said for their bonus. Grenade bonus is enclosed spaces. I wouldn't really consider this an enclosed space necessarily. It is kind
Why
of
would
more open.
grenades be good for an enclosed space? That sounds terrible.
Well, I mean, you'd chuck it into a like a 10 by 10 room,
Oh,
and
like the
Yeah.
grenade is in an enclosed
yeah,
space, not
Yes.
me. Okay,
yep.
I was like, that sounds dumb as shit. But um, do we have an approximate number of how many enemies are in here?
About
Did I?
a squad's worth. So probably like a dozen ish. In terms of their threat rating, they have 6 hit points.
Okay,
So
I am going to lob a grenade from the outside. I'm going to lob a grenade from the outside.
mhm.
But before I do that, I am going to spend one blood to conjure illusions of the British Army creeping around the corners of all the topiaries, surrounding them with guns.
Okay.
Nice.
I love
The
bed knobs and broomsticks.
Which I believe gives me a couple dice as well. And then with all of that, I am going to do absolutely nothing.
Oh,
oh
Unreal.
ah
Can we add
so
dice?
um I'm seeing if you have anything that would be at all applicable. Uh,
Yep.
so you use the let's see your ability dance macabre. Oh, that was Phantasmagoria.
Yeah.
Well, did you roll
Yep.
one extra die or
Yep.
two?
Yep.
Two?
Yep.
Oh gosh. I
I
will
rolled
say
five,
there.
right? Because one, two,
Uh,
three, four,
yeah.
five.
Uh,
Yep.
I'm
Just a
sorry.
terrible roll. All
My
ones, twos, and
sympathies.
threes.
Oh,
Oh, um, there is a mechanic I didn't mention because you can only use it once per character. It's called the flashback mechanic. This is if you roll no successes or actually 2 successes or fewer, and you really, really, really want a roll to succeed, you can basically tap into something that from your previous missions for Fang, that gives you like renewed confidence, a renewed drive to make sure that this role actually succeeds. So if you want to do that, like I said, you can only do it once per game. It lets you re-roll all your dice, and basically it means you recall like something from your past, and there's like a little question that I'll ask. You can build off of it as like a bit of character building and whatnot to just inspire you to hopefully roll better. But you can only use it once. If you wanted to save it for something a bit more dangerous, I get it, but I wanted to say that is an option.
Save that for No, let's do it now. We'll do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll a d6 and figure out which.
We want
Okay,
this explosion to be memorable.
okay. So pick one of the other characters. Just this character taught you a few tricks. What was the most important lesson? So if you think there was someone who maybe taught you the ropes of how like proper
Yeah,
form throwing
I
grenades.
taught you how to eat pudding. What?
it was Fang that taught me this particular lesson that I'm referring to. And
Do you
as
mean
a
Flint?
yes, well,
Okay.
Fang the organization, but Flint the
Ah,
Oh,
character, yes.
okay.
So while we were on a mission one time in Bucharest, I saw Flint just not even hesitate to go in and start slashing the enemy, and that was a good reminder to me to not always have to sit in the shadows and make a plan. Sometimes it's just better to act first and think later and get the advantage on people, get the drop.
Nice. Okay.
Vin Diesel
Yeah.
taught me that also in Fast and Furious 7.
All right. I'd say that certainly counts. Go ahead, re-roll your dice. Hopefully you roll better.
you could do it. Yippee-ki-yay.
It's better.
Oh
Uh-huh.
no.
All right, I got a. Well, no, wait, because we're not on the four lady anymore. I got a 4, a 5, and a 6, so it is way better.
Nice. So that is four total successes. So
You
you
damn
can
right.
so you can use that as direct damage to the Nazi officers, or you can use it to further your goal of ruining the garden part or blitzkrieging the garden party, like destroying the beautiful surroundings and that sort of thing. Or if you just want to like have it completely blow the fuck out of them, then go you can totally do that too.
There's no damage coming at me, right? Because this is.
Yep, complete surprise.
Um, how many do we need to?
Six to get rid of this group of Nazi scum.
And that's to get through the garden, or that's just
That's just to get rid
the.
of them.
Okay. I will do. Yeah, I'll do all four against them.
Okay. So you hear as the spectral British soldiers, start creeping out of the bushes, Golden Himmel, and just general shouts of alarm as people like you hear people like scrambling for weapons or cover or whatever. Then your grenade goes sailing into their midst, and just baked hams and breads and whatnot go flying everywhere as it hits the center of their table and just showers everything with food, pieces of body
Schnitzels
parts,
and sauerbraten
sauerbraten.
and so
Yeah,
many versts.
the first.
It was the
uh
first of times.
Ah,
and some parts that you might want to eat because certainly some of these Nazis got caught in the blast, and there are chunks of various and sundry indefinable meats that are now strewn across this once pristine bit of garden foliage. So I would say everyone else, they definitely know you're here now. So what are the rest of you doing? Because it wasn't enough to fully take them out, but
Hmm.
well, while the chaos is ensuing, I'm just gonna stroll right in and whip out Betsy and Maria and take aim at one or two of these Germans.
okay. The
So I'm
kids.
gonna roll 4 for shoot.
Okay. And if you are actively using your pistols, your paired revolvers, that is another +1. Let's see, how many do they roll?
Wait, so
Oh,
so
you
I have
shoot.
three. I have three normally for shoot.
Oh, I thought you had four. I'm sorry.
No,
Yes,
no,
yeah. So it
no.
would be four total.
So yep.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I was looking at a different stat here for the enemies, and I got the numbers crossed.
I have a 5, and that's it. Boo.
Oh, gotcha. So the handful of officers that are scrambling for their weapons, one of them does manage to get like a pistol aimed at you, so you have one damage coming your way. So you can use that to negate it if
I'm
you want.
gonna pull a matrix again and
Okay,
avoid the damage.
gotcha. So yeah, you duck behind like a shrub that is still
Yes.
somehow intact or whatever. Okay. All right, so that's them. You hear one of them that might be an officer, like he's scrambling for like a radio, and he's shouting something into it, and look he appears to be looking at the rooftops. So
Okay, I will use my magic cavalry saber and charge the one on the radio.
Nice. Okay. Uh, so does that, let's see, what are the bonuses for that? Magic Cavalry. Charge? Okay, yeah, that definitely counts as 2 extra dice.
Okay, excellent. And that would be my brawl skill, yeah?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
it is close combat damage, so.
okay. Thought maybe terrify, but
Um, if you're just trying to like scare him off, then you could use Terrify.
nah.
Okay.
Ooh. 3 successes.
Ooh. Yeah, so eh, which is good because he also rolled 3, but since that's enough to take out the
Ooh.
mob, um yeah, you come charging in, shouting whatever war cry you think is
Slava
something.
Ukraini!
There we go. And yeah, he's a corpulent man who's on the radio. He turns and sees you like rushing at him, and he just cries out in alarm as you run him through. Well, actually, you detail the killing blow on this guy if you want to. Otherwise, I can fill in the gory details.
Uh, Go ahead and fill in the gory details.
Okay. Yeah, so you run him through, and as his weight actually pulls the saber up as gravity pulls him down, and the handful of ones that aren't in pieces at this point, they see what happened to their commandant, and Commandant Schwarzkopf or whatever, you hear them yelling, and they, just Raus, raus, and they go running off into the either the garden or out into the streets, trying to get away from the blitzkrieg that you just dropped on their heads. So you've dealt with that threat, but you still have to get through the actual like hedge maze that and out the other side, closer to the Eiffel Tower.
Well, Flint hasn't taken a turn yet.
True, true.
Um, I don't think any of my abilities really fit the situation. So we're just searching for a way out of this point.
Yeah, because I mean, you could go around, but that would leave you pretty exposed, especially with all the explosions and gunfire that are probably going to draw attention sooner or later. The Oompa music somehow is still playing, like the Victrola managed to avoid all of the carnage that's just happened.
I am going to, how about this? I'm gonna spend a point of blood and I'll fly up into the air so I can
Okay.
see the maze from above.
Okay. So that would probably be search if you're trying to like pick out a route for your landbound friends to traverse.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead, give me a roll, and you can certainly add a die from flying.
I prefer aerial challenge, not landbound.
1-6.
Okay, so that is a success. However,
However, what?
you heard me. Oh, you are
Oh no.
lucky. So as you take flight and you're getting a view of everything underneath you, um, you hear a shot ring out and that like flies right towards you, and it sounds like it came from one of the rooftops of the surrounding buildings. They did get 1 success, so they didn't. I guess they weren't expecting you to actually be in the air. So you said you got a 6.
Yes.
Okay, I would allow you to split that between soaking the damage and moving towards the objective.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
that sounds good.
Normally, you wouldn't be able to do that, but I figured the situation called for it and seemed fair. So there's at least one team of snipers that is also in the area. Okay. So was that everyone for that round, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Start of the next round. You're not actually done with the fight yet, but the garden should provide some cover, theoretically. Probably easier than like picking off snipers at a distance, but then again, Flint can fly, so who knows? So yeah, you can try to just like follow his instructions from the air, assuming he is actually talking and relaying them, considering he's only said "I am Batman" so far.
Makes an interpretive dance in the sky.
Or he could just like keep flying over the route that you should be taking, and you can try to follow along. But he's going to make himself kind of an obvious target. And you pass like little fountains and things, and benches and whatnot. It is an honest to goodness like hedge maze. But yeah, so if you're, I guess if you are looking to just dive in and try to find your way through, that would either be sneak or search. If you're trying to like return fire at the snipers, obviously it's shoot. But tell me what you guys are doing, and we'll go from there.
I am going
I'm here.
to. What?
Oh, what was that?
Can I drink a Nazi while I'm here?
Oh, yeah. I'd say you could do that as a free action, considering they're dead.
Ooh, do we all get one of those?
I would say yes, minus Flint, who is in the sky right now.
All right.
Yeah, I'm being probably more generous with that than I should be, but I know what's in store. So
Probably. Oh no. I'm gonna roll for sneak to try to just get my way through this garden.
okay, go for it.
And I have 0 success.
Ooh, gotcha. All right, so I'm gonna, since there's so many of you, and one of the sniper teams is obviously focused on Flint. I'm gonna roll for each of the rest of you to see which one they focus on. So high low, I rolled low, so you don't make any progress, but they also don't take a shot at you.
Yay.
Okay, so who's up next?
I am going to search for a way out, and can I do two things? Can I heal and search?
Healing is a free action.
Okay. So I will do that,
Okay.
and I will search. I got a 6.
Nice. Okay, so that is 2 successes. They rolled low, so they don't target you either. So yeah, that is 2 off of the difficulty for that. It goes without saying that the one focused on Flint is going to shoot at Flint regardless of what he does, but it's a matter of if the others have noticed you yet, because there is one other team of snipers. So Cosgrave and Flint are who are left here.
So search.
Okay. Search or sneak, whichever you'd prefer.
I'll sneak then, because that's a bonus dice. So
Oh, nice.
1-4.
Okay. Oh, and they rolled high, so one of them took notice of you. So let's see. That's 1, 3, 3, 2. Okay, they got 2 successes. So you got 1 success.
Those bastards.
Yeah, so they managed to hit you. If you did soak that damage, you take 1 injury.
Yeah, we can select the damage.
Mm.
They shot off some of my fingers.
Oof, it's okay. You got more.
Yep, apparently, but good stuff.
You keep them in the glove compartment with the priest heads.
Are rusted. It's not even good anymore.
Yeah. All right. So I think that brings us to Flint at this point. I mean, you can like take the fight to them if you want, since you did
I was
hear
definitely
where
considering that. That feels like it's in my character.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
Yes, since I'm already in the air,
Okay.
I will
Hi, Kitty.
fly towards them, weaving left and right, trying to dodge their shots.
Nice. Okay.
And I pick the nearest one and I slash at them.
Okay. Sounds good. So I would count that as aerial combat, definitely. So yeah, go ahead, roll. It would be brawl, I guess, since you're getting up close and trying to ruin their day. And let's see, they have longer range weapons, so And you're doing evasive maneuvers, so I'll factor that in. Okay, let me know what you got.
A 4 and 2 6s.
Okay, so they did get 2 successes against you. However, they only normally they would have a challenge of 2 because they're up high and whatnot. But you're up in their faces, so I don't think that really applies. And they only have a threat rating of 3 in terms of like their actual like health. So you could spend 3 of those to kill that team, and then use the others for whatever you'd prefer, advancing the objective or drinking blood or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how about let's use a 3 to kill him off, and then that leaves me 2 points left for the objective.
Okay. So the objective is down to 3 at this point. So yeah, you see like even in the dark, you see their eyes widen as you close the distance at a breakneck pace. He tries to bring the rifle of his long gun over to you, but it's too unwieldy to use at that distance. And yeah, you just tear into him, and he is not. Yeah, he is no more. Just either you leave him to rot on top of the building, or he just drops off the side and splaps on the pavement. Nice. Okay, so objective, 3 points left. And there's one team of snipers that remain. So yeah, who wants to go first? Unless you want to continue your reign of carnage against the rooftop guys and just like mitigate that threat entirely.
Sneak again if need be.
Okay. But yeah, whoever's feeling it, just give me a roll, tell me what you're doing, and
I like getting
will...
shot.
Well, I mean, there's only one team left, and they just saw their friends get taken out, so
Yeah. All right. I will sneak.
okay.
1-5.
Okay. They are distracted by the horrible screams they heard coming from the other rooftop. So I would say that's one more off the objective. So down to 2.
All right.
All right. And the rest.
Search.
Okay.
Ooh, a 5 and a 6.
Nice.
Maybe.
Okay. So he did take note of you and rolled 2, 2, 2, 2, and 5. So
I'll throw my 5 against his 5 and use the 6 for 2 successes to the
sounds
objective.
Good. Sounds good. Yeah, so you hear a shot ring out, and you duck behind a statue of a Cupid. Cupid shatters as the bullet hits, but that does give you a clear view of the exit of the hedge maze. And yeah, you I assume like call out to your companions to hurry on, and snipers can only shoot so far. So
Not only is love blind, love is dead.
nice. Okay, so there is that. I would say, yeah, that everyone is able to clear that scene, including Flint, even though you're kind of in the air and whatnot. The rest of the group has cleared the way, so if you don't want to, risk getting shot, taking out that other guy, you can head on along with them.
Yes, I should do that.
Okay. And you see, especially from your airborne perch or airborne perspective, that sizable garden complex they installed, and the other side opens up into like a nice broad street that just so happens to be at the base of the Eiffel Tower. So you guys are almost there. So I'll just read the flavor text here. Built to celebrate the 1889 Paris World's Fair, the Eiffel Tower remains one of the most endearing symbols of Paris and France in general. Upon the Nazi conquest of the city, the structure was retrofitted with the latest in German technology. Elevators rocket up the structure, dazzling electric lights blaze out into the night air, and a rudimentary communications serial has been supplanted by high-bandwidth broadcast technology. Also, there is a Zeppelin attached to the top of it containing Adolf Hitler, a cadre of things I won't mention just yet, and another thing I won't mention just yet. So, So right now, you see like at the base of the tower there are actual like anti-aircraft guns that are in place to keep planes from getting too close or like trying to blow up the Zeppelin and that sort of thing. Part of why you couldn't get closer than you were when you airdropped in. Your objective is to ascend to the top of the tower. Difficulty of 8, challenge of 1. So I'm gonna find another spot to write here. And let's see. The anti-aircraft guns, let's see. Ba-ba-bum. So yeah, you do see that there are soldiers that are spilling out from the guns themselves because they're not designed to like aim at ground level. Um, so there is they have taken up positions and they see you're approaching. They are entrenched and they are waiting for you. They appear to be heavily armored. So they have, if you need their stats, that the armored infantry squad has a threat of 6, so 6 hit points basically, and a challenge of 1 because of the armor. Although your acid spit might come in handy considering you just completely
I was
melted the last guys.
just about to start clearing my throat a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, you can take point on this certainly.
let's
They
get
are
this party started.
Yeah, there's one like cocksure guy with a bullhorn who's like shouting at you in German and stuff you can take to mean like you allied dogs have come as far as you're going to come, that sort of thing. Your trip ends here, there's just bravado and that sort of thing. And then you start doing your thing.
All right. I think I get to roll 6 for this.
I think so, because it is against metal.
So it'd be because I normally have 3 shoot plus 1 for the ability plus 2 for versus metal, right?
Yeah, so that would be 6.
Oh man. Let's do this in the name of freedom in the United States. Woo! Yeah.
All right.
I just want listeners to know that I am playing this from the perspective of, the 1940s when the United States of America was actually fighting for freedom and against fascism.
And Captain America punched Nazis.
And Captain
Yeah.
America punched Nazis when America in general seemed to think that Nazis were a bad thing. Anyway.
Yeah, those were the days. So I've heard. All right, give him hell.
Oh no, you guys.
Oh no, did you
no.
choke on your own phlegm?
Oh no.
You made the speech too patriotic.
Oh, I did. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, no.
Flashback.
You can use your flashback.
I think I'm gonna have to flashback.
All right, so let me get back to that page.
Just for the record, I rolled a 6, but the rest were all 1s and 2s.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's not great. Which, yeah, I mean, that would have taken some of the damage or given them some of the damage you need.
Would a single 6 be enough to get past the whatchamacallit?
It would, but you only
Okay.
do like 1 point of damage to the actual
Oh,
threat.
got it.
Yeah.
Still,
All right.
I want to try.
All right, so your flashback question is, you saved one of the other members of your squad from certain death once. What nearly killed them?
I saved my good friend Flint, who is getting chosen for all these apparently.
Yeah.
I saved my good friend Flint one time. He was grossly misunderstood by a bunch of villagers who thought he was a monster just because he didn't really talk so good. They had pitchforks and torches. They thought he was like a Frankenstein, which, clearly that doesn't really work with vampires, but I helped him get out of a pretty hairy situation.
Nice. I say that certainly counts. Go ahead, re-roll. Hope you roll better.
You can do it!
All right, so I got do 4 still count, or does it have to be 5s and 6s on this one?
Force count. You have killed the rust witch.
Okay, so I have 3 successes.
Okay, that is solid. I suppose I should actually roll for them. Give me
No, you
just
shouldn't.
All right, so they rolled a 2, a 3, and a 4. There's 1 point of damage for you to absorb if you are looking to do that, and then you can deal, let's see, 1 to get past their challenge, and then you can still hurt them for 1. So it
All
kind of
right.
evens out to how it had been, if that's what you want to do.
So
Mhm.
I am going to take the damage
Okay.
and use 2 points against them.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I'm going to roll for my injury. I got a 2, so that just gives me a flesh wound again because I had healed that.
Nice.
And thanks to my corrosive fluids, I take 2 more points off of them.
Ooh. Yeah, so they see you rearing back and spitting this gob of horrible acidic goo. And the one with the bullhorn shouts what can only be open fire. So they return the barrage and are surprised when even more corrosive goo ends up flying out of your body, and they're screaming in pain as flesh is beginning to melt off of bones.
Yes, I am known for spewing corrosive goo out of my body.
All right, well played, sir. Well played. All right. So that leaves the other three of you. What you looking to do?
All right. I will spend a blood point and use um my dark glamour to mesmerize them with my unearthly visage, and I would say that the Eiffel Tower counts as beautiful surroundings, does it not?
I would
We
agree.
Okay. So that would be con-based.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, because you're mesmerizing, not trying to like scare them. So
Okay, that is 2 successes.
okay. And you're doing that to lower their threat level.
Yes.
Okay. So they have the challenge of 1 still, so that brings them down by 1 point. And let's see. So they still have 1 left. In retaliation, they rolled a 1, a 1, and a 3, so you are safe there.
Hey.
Um, and yeah, they're distracted enough that their resolve seems to be wavering. Several of them have melted into like just gooey corpses. Um, their morale seems to really be flagging already. One hit left. So that leaves Cosgrave and Flint.
Uh, with a terrifying roar, I rush in. The first Nazi that I get to, I grab him and I suplex him right to the ground.
Nice. All right. Yeah, give me a roll.
Nothing.
Oh,
Ooh.
you attempt to do that. They rolled a 1, a 1, and a 4 in retaliation. So yeah, they back up a bit and you reach for them, but he manages to like bring his gun up and like fire off a few wild shots, one of which does hit you. So
I did roll a
roll.
1, so it hits my bone armor.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, just pink and yeah, so well done. All right, which leaves it in the hands of Cosgrove.
No pressure there, partner.
Yeah, don't screw it
Uh,
up.
defense challenge
What's
is
that?
1.
Yes, challenge of 1, so you need to get 2 successes against them to fully take out the squad.
Would I have any chance to sneak up on them while they're fighting Flint?
Yeah, he's big and imposing, sure.
Okay, I will brawl, which I haven't done since very early in the game,
Yeah.
and I will use my enormous knife
Ooh,
Ooh.
on top of that.
nice.
No knife,
Knives.
This is a knife.
but just 1 hit.
Oh.
Boo.
So
Boo.
I
Let's see if they get any sort of defense mounted. 2-2-1. So nope. So at
oh
least you didn't take any damage from that.
okay.
But yeah. So all right, start of the next turn. Anyone who wants to can go first, since
I am going to use another blood point and spew some more acid on these motherfuckers.
okay. What was that?
How
What?
much energy do they have left? Or HP?
Not much. They have
Isn't it
one hit point,
just
and then they have the challenge, which is the armor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 So yeah, as long as you get 2 points, they will be dead. Or yeah, and you considering
yeah?
if they're still
So I have a 5 and a 6.
okay, so that's a total of 3.
Yep.
Yeah, you can use you can definitely take them out as yeah, he melt the last couple of them get caught in the spray and they just dissolve, screaming in horrible German agony. And that leaves you 1 point left where you could use that towards the objective, like maybe call the elevator that I mentioned as part of the fixtures the Nazis have added to the Eiffel Tower.
I would love to do that, but I haven't had a drink in so long.
That is fair.
I think I'm going to use that last point to get a little of that delicious Nazi blood.
All right, that is entirely fair.
So
All
you
right.
mentioned that there are descriptions of the blood and their tastes. The random Nazis, what do they taste like?
It doesn't really say for the standard grunts and mooks.
Uh,
So schnitzel. Uh, maybe stout German beer for some of them.
I have a personal description in mind that I'm planning to save for the grand finale.
Nice,
mm.
nice. Okay, that is entirely fair. It does give a description for Hitler's blood, I will say that.
All
But
right.
we can if you have a really cool idea in mind, we can certainly go with that instead. Um, all right, so there during the fight, someone has set off like an alarm. So you hear it's kind of like an air raid siren noise going off. So it's probably only a matter of time before reinforcements do show up for this fight. So yeah, it's blaring siren that's just kind of echoing through the streets. And I'll say you'll get a few actions before you'll get a round before reinforcements show up.
We all get in the elevator?
Yep. I will say it's because it does say that there's like the challenge rating of this seems pretty high. I'm gonna say you'll need to actually the panel to call the elevator is locked. So someone's gonna need to like pry that open or like jury rig it open or something like that. So I have to figure out some way to make this seem like it's more of a hassle than it is, considering
Did
that
somebody say jerry rig?
I think I did, partner.
You doggy.
All right.
Well, tell you what, I still happen to have a couple notches left on the old tool belt, and jerry rigging seems to be my specialty, so.
Nice. Yeah, give it a go. That would be a fixed roll with +2 dice.
So that's 6. Let's hope I have more luck with this than I did last time I got to roll 6. What do I have to get to succeed here?
Well, just to get the thing open and the elevator called, I would say just one. Anything else will go towards like your ascent afterwards.
All right, I have 3 successes.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you managed to like pry open the cover and get it operational. You hit the button. Elevator is descending. So that is down to a 5. All right. So I will say it for the interest of not having the rest of you waste your time, considering it was described as a fast elevator. It reaches the bottom, fairly quickly, and you can pile on. Um,
The Nazis
I
waiting for us in the elevator?
Not on the elevator, surprisingly. It does open up, and it looks like just for the sake of having the rest of you have something to do, I'm going to have it only makes sense to have the reinforcements show up. And I'll just have the elevator move like at a set pace, just because it doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot you can do while on the elevator. So you hear like a rumble from overhead as a plane approaches, and you see figures jump out in parachutes from the plane. and they look to be coming to land on the tower itself.
It's an elevator level.
It is an elevator level. I love that
Hey.
they worked one of these into a tabletop RPG. So yeah, they are coming down, and they probably are within range to shoot. If you want to use like some of the guns that you found. Otherwise, you can wait for them to actually land, which is probably not going to be the best idea.
Well then, I shall use my exquisite hunting rifle.
Okay.
Let's see, and shoot is 3. I do not have an elevated position, so I don't get to use that.
Okay.
But the item gives me a +1. Die anyway. 4 and a 6.
Ooh, nice. So they have a toughness of 6 total. So and they don't have a challenge rating, so no armor. They're floating down. So that is 3 successes against them, but let me see what because I mean they are armed, they're going to be shooting back.
Eh.
Um Okay, so they get 2 successes in return, so you can use 2 of yours to like kind of hunker down, but you would still have 1 point of damage against them as they're flying down.
That works. That's
Okay.
what happens.
Okay, so down to 5 for them. So yeah, you fire
Yeah,
back.
I shoot one of the parachutes and that one goes plummeting.
Nice. So there's like gunfire like going both ways, and all of a sudden there's like one of them is you see just sort of you hear a scream and they just go hundreds. I'm not actually sure how tall the Eiffel Tower is, but they go plummeting certainly far enough to die when they hit the ground. And well, nicely done. There are still more that are jumping out of the plane though. So that leaves the others. So we've got, I believe, Cosgrave and Flint who are left.
First this round. I could be wrong.
What was that?
I don't think you went this round. I went first this round.
Yeah, because he pried open the cover to
Yeah.
the elevator lock.
Thought I went before you did that though.
Did you?
Not in this round, I don't think.
I don't think so.
What do you
I
think you did?
Maybe it wasn't this round.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
you went
think you
last
went this
round.
round.
That was to finish off the last group.
That was the last round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the knife. Yeah.
Okay. So we have parachutists coming down.
Yep. Yeah. Multiples. It's like a squad of paratroopers. So collectively, there's a bunch of them, but they have 5 remaining hit points, for lack of a better term.
I am going to spend a point of my blood and I'm going to jump out of the elevator and fly towards them.
Nice.
Attempt
All
to
right.
slash at their parachutes.
Okay. Certainly counts as aerial combat, I'd say. I mean, if this doesn't, what does? All right. Oh, wow. They were not expecting that. They rolled terribly. Give me your roll and see what happens. And for each of your turns, I'm going to like mark a point off of the objective just to show that you're ascending.
1-6.
Ooh. So that's still 2 points. And they're firing wildly back at you, but I guess they thought they'd have more of a stationary target. So yeah, you can do both points of damage to them if you'd like.
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay. Awesome. So they're down to 3. So yeah, just all of a sudden, taking wing, you're darting back and forth through them as they're floating gracefully through the air until they're not floating gracefully through the air anymore and plummeting to their horrible, horrible deaths. Well done. Okay, so I do believe that leaves Cosgrave as the last one for this round.
I'll tell you. I don't have a lot that can help in this situation. I'm just gonna be honest about that. Like I have a shoot statistic. Can I use that without equipment or not?
You technically can.
Okay.
It doesn't really explain how it works, but there are pistols and things floating around that you
Can I give him my backup pistol that I
Yeah,
took?
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah,
I bequeath you my pistol.
Sparky.
Otherwise, there's always good old rock.
Because pistol, does that have like a bonus or anything?
Yep, it adds one
It is
extra
a
die.
yeah. It also has a close quarters bonus, but that doesn't seem like it would apply.
Yeah.
Well, we are on the same tower, so it's
They're in the air, so
okay. I will
But
shoot.
you have three uses left on that pistol.
All right, pistola.
nice.
Um, I will use a pistol then and try to take a shot at one of these guys,
Okay.
but only managed to pull off two fives and a six.
Nice. They rolled
What?
they
Pew
rolled
pew pew pew
two
pew.
they rolled two successes, so that's two incoming damage you have to account for.
All right.
Unless actually no, that would be enough to kill them, even absorb because yeah, if they're dead, they can't hit you. So yeah. So yeah, you pull off just a crack shot. Chuck chucks a pistol at you, and you just gracefully grab it and knock the last couple of them out of the sky. Well done.
A shot that goes through all of their parachutes at once.
But either way, yeah, well done. And that actually brings it right up pretty much on to the top of the Eiffel Tower. And I'll say
Their
since
surrenders and we win.
so and yeah, the elevator, briskly whisks you up the last couple hundred feet. Door opens and you see brightly lit Hitler's personal Zeppelin.
Brotherhood
You
of
know,
Steel.
in a word, sumptuous. In another word, airborne. Well, not actually. I don't know why it says that because it's docked, so ignore that part. This repurposed dirigible has been outfitted with marble, silk, gold, and mahogany as like accents and stuff. This is more like when you board it. I'm sorry. So it is docked on the platform.
Can I just
Supply.
spew acid on this bitch and bring the whole thing down?
I mean, you would strand Hitler here, but you would still have to go in and kill him. So you could do that if you really want to. You would ensure he can't get away, but also you wouldn't get a free Zeppelin.
See, blind it with marble. I don't think you would have did that though.
No. If this is on the inside, I didn't realize the description I was reading was once you boarded it. But yeah, it is lit up with running lights. There is, it is spotlit so everyone around the city can see it. And yeah, it is beautiful, imposing, and a sign of absolute evil. But strangely, there don't seem to be any guards immediately in the vicinity, like on the platform.
Well,
Definitely not a trap.
Oh, not at all.
But yeah, it is docked. It has even like the landing, what the boarding gear, whatever it actually is on a Zeppelin, is extended. But no one is immediately rushing out to assault you.
I mean, I think we got to board this thing.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, sorry, what was that, Cody?
I said let's board it. Do we need an action,
All
or
right.
can we just
No, you can just waltz up to
board
it,
it?
and yeah, you can just board it. I was just looking up the stats of when you get of the thing that you run into when you're on there. Uh, one of the things. Let's put it that way. All right, so you board the Zeppelin. Now I can read the flavor text here. This repurposed dirigible has been outfitted with marble, silk, gold, and mahogany. Grand staircases lead to mezzanine levels loaded with Hitler's own paintings, all of them without any artistic merit whatsoever, and treasures plundered from throughout Europe, Northern Africa, Tibet, and Nepal. The crucial element of the Zeppelin and where Hitler is currently holed up is the broadcast suite, situated towards the front of the vehicle, which is the opposite side of where you boarded from. So your objective is to reach that suite. And unfortunately, now that you're aboard, you see a squad of differently dressed foes that fan out to meet you.
Stormtroopers.
Hmm?
Unfortunately, these ones can hit.
There's 5 of them. They are dressed in like long coats. Just looking at the stats here. And they are decked out in like religious iconography, like
Priest
crosses.
said?
Yeah, like crosses and just rosary beads and that sort of thing. Their belts are lined with stakes, and they have some sort of grenades also like on strapped to them. There are 5 of them in total, one squad,
How
but
are these
5.
steaks cooked? Like well done, medium? Oh,
Well, if he's like another fascist dictator, probably well done and covered in ketchup.
gross.
Ugh.
Um, and they are standing there with their hands at the ready for various firearms and stakes, and they have kind of spread out in a fanned fashion, and they are they are seemingly waiting for you to make the first move. But interestingly, they don't like shout at you to try and intimidate you like the others have. They are just quiet and ready for action.
Shall we
you
start this party with a grenade?
You can always
I
you can
kind
always
of,
try.
I don't know what's going on here. What were you
yeah,
gonna
I
say there, Chuck?
feel like we should maybe try talking to them, see what's going on. They're not immediately attacking us. I mean, they probably work for Hitler though, so I don't know.
They
Maybe they
as
just
they
killed Hitler.
well as they see
Maybe.
you kind of debating over your next move, one of them says in heavily accented English, "We knew this day would come. Your reign of terror ends here, vampire swine.
Hmm.
We are
Well, yes, it's
prepared."
going to be that kind of party.
He takes out a stake and like flips it in his hand, catches it. "We are ready for your kind. Any last words?"
Yeah, Cosgrave. I think maybe Arena was right about them grenades.
It says that they're not wearing any like armor or anything. You didn't say, right?
Let me double check their stats.
Say they were dressed
Correct.
like priests.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, a lot of religious iconography, long coats that are stacked with weapons of various sorts, but they don't seem to be armored. They do
Okay.
they do have a threat rating of 8, just so you know.
Okay. Any
We're
armor
dealing
though?
with Anderson from Helsing.
What was that, Cody?
Just any armor
Nope. But I mean, there's 5 of them, so that accounts for
or
like the 8
challenge?
number.
That's what I was looking for. No
Yep,
challenge.
no challenge,
Okay.
surprisingly.
I guess we'll toss a little gurney action in there and see what happens then.
Okay.
So I think throwing that in there would definitely be a fix roll to fix the situation, and definitely not.
We're going to fix the Zeppelin with explosions.
That's right. Okay, let's see.
Ooh, be glad they rolled like crap.
Would you say
Uh,
this room is a close combat that they're in?
for the purposes of a grenade, yes,
Okay. So is that 4? Am I calculating correctly then?
I believe so.
2 for shoot and 1 for the grade, 1 for close combat?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm just going to roll 4 6s here, guys. So get ready.
Okay.
First dice is a 6.
Nice.
Second die is a 6.
Ooh.
Third die is a 3, so half a 6. And then the last die is a 2, so a third of a 6. So basically 4 6s, depending on how I want to count that.
All right. So you have 2 points of damage coming your way as one of them takes one of the stakes and like whips it at your heart, surprisingly adeptly from a ways off. The other, you said you threw a grenade.
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to soak that damage or no? The 2 that's coming at you?
Kind of torn. I feel like I should definitely soak that damage. On the other hand, there's a chance I could maneuver it just quickly enough to get one of those stakes to go right into my sucking chest wound that I have and just kind of catch it there. But I'll probably defend. Yes.
Okay, so that's 2 off, and you had a 4 total
Yeah.
essentially. Okay, so that's one of them. He says something in German that sounds vaguely like religious, like God preserve us all or something like that if he had to take a guess, and he actually like leaps on the grenade and stifles the explosion. He flies apart. The other 4 of them are unharmed, but it still counts towards the reducing their threat by a bit. Go ahead.
Okay.
Um, and the others, you hear them mutter what sounds like some sort of prayer in German for their fallen comrade. And who's next?
Well, consarn it. I I step up and lock eyes with one of these so and so's, and I I hover my hands over my pistols. He hovers his hand over his stake. And we got us another duel taking place here.
Okay. He looks at you and says in English, so perhaps there is some honor left in your undead husk. And he actually pulls his coat back and there's a pistol strapped to his hip, and he's waiting for the signal.
Woo doggy. Son of a gun. Let's see how this goes. All right. I got 3 successes, 2 4s, and a 5.
He got 4, unfortunately, a 4, a 5, and a 6. And normally the 6s only count for regular, successes, but these guys say they get the criticals, so he did one better than you, unfortunately. So you expected him to maybe go for the stake or one of the grenades. Instead, he whips out the pistol and, you both fire more or less at the same time. He's just a little bit quicker. And, like I said, you can soak 3 of that, but one of them is going to wing you.
All right. Let me roll for that.
Okay.
Well, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
Well, I got eviscerated, which means I can't use bonus dice.
Oh, geez.
Question, can I heal myself at any time?
Yes.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna spend 3 blood and undo that evisceration.
Okay.
But also, have I mentioned corrosive fluids?
Oh, yes. So he did hit you, so
So that reduces the threat level by 2.
nice.
Special to spit acid back. Mine's to fall apart.
Yeah, so he grins as he brings his gun up and fires, and he sees the bullet tear a hole into your midsection, and the grin quickly fades as the retaliatory spray gushes out of him. And he's like, I knew there was no honor in you, as it sprays, and he like is smoking and his skin is bubbling as he falls, and he's trying to scrape it off as best he can. So he's like flailing on the ground trying to stop from melting. So,
I may be undead, but I bet you wish you was dead right about now.
probably. All right, so they're down to 4.
Okay. I will use one of my explosive runes.
Okay.
I am just going to chuck it up in the air above their heads.
Okay.
Take a step back.
All right. So that would be, since you're doing it from a range, that is shoot, certainly.
Okay.
All right.
So that is... And it was concealed on my person up until now?
I'd say that's fair.
Okay. So yeah, that flashback thing.
Yep. All right.
I rolled 1 6, but there were 5 other dice that were not so nice.
Ooh, gotcha. All right. And they rolled 3 incoming damage to you, so just so you know. And let me get back to the page. So your flashback question is so you owe your life to one of your teammates. How did they save it?
Okay. Well, I'm not going to break the tradition of going with Flint.
Everybody's best friend, Flint.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were fighting um, fascists in the mountains of Italy, and he surprised the Italian soldiers by swooping out of the cave behind them.
All right, I'd say that definitely counts. So go ahead and give me a reroll. See what you get.
Okay. Hey. Or did you say that fours don't count?
Nope, that was only against the Rust Witch.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So I got two fours and a six.
Nice. So four total. They had three damage coming at you, so you can certainly defend against that as like ducking behind one of Hitler's terrible sculptures or whatever, um, and still have enough to hit him again if that's what you're looking to do.
Okay, yeah. So three to defend, one to hit.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, so with the explosive rune, yeah, he actually tosses an explosive of his own, one of the grenades on his belt, and they kind of collide in midair, so that the your explosion proves to be the stronger one and actually blows his back at him a bit. Not as good as a close, point blank hit, but definitely enough to singe him. So
Sure, yeah.
he's his vestments are smoking. He's trying to like pat out the flames. So nicely
Got
done.
a bit of shrapnel. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Right, and that brings us to Flint, I think.
What's our threat level down to?
They are down to three. I don't think there's necessarily enough room in here to fly, unfortunately. So
That was yes. Um, uh, Enraged by the close quarters and being unable to fly, I rush at them, and before I get there, I fire my grappling hook at one of them to try and knock his weapon out of his hand.
okay.
And when I get there, I try to toss him out the window.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, give me since it's primarily you're getting close and you're trying to toss him, I would say that's primarily a brawl rule. Yeah, and you can bring the grappling hook to use definitely. So that's an extra die. So let me know what you get.
4 and a 6.
Okay. He rolled two fours and a five, so that is enough to cancel it out, unfortunately.
I rolled two
Um,
ones. I can.
or you said that's you rolled that's 3 points worth, so you can basically yeah you can kill him before he has a chance to actually hit you if you want to just pour all that into damage.
Do it.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, you
The mighty
uh,
toss. He goes out the window.
You the
nice.
real
And
MVP.
you step on the guy who's smoldering on the ground in the process and break his neck. And this guy goes tumbling, 1,000 feet down to the ground. And
I turn around and say, "No ticket."
Yay! I get
awesome.
it, and I like it.
All right. So that leaves just the approach to the broadcast suite. And in all of the noise that's been going on, the explosions, the gunfire, you hear a blood-curdling howl come from the far end of the craft. It is, I mean, it is deeper than like your standard wolf howl that you would hear like out in the woods.
God damn it.
It
Do we have a werewolf Hitler on our hands?
you might have a Nazi werewolf, yes. Uh, but I will say it's not Hitler. Um, so, yeah, you hear that howl and you hear like a thunking, like just heavy footsteps that are approaching the door on the far end of the like the mezzanine, for lack of a better term, of that you're standing on. And there's a pause, and you can just vaguely make out like a snuffling sound, and then the door flies off its hinges, and out steps. Let me just see how that's. What was that?
Werewolf Ava Braun, right?
Um, crap. This actually was supposed to take place in that room, but da, 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 da. Oh well, I can still make this work. Out steps a 7 foot tall, like hairy monstrosity. It has the head and overall, like body shape, a body musculature of a wolf, but it's standing on its hind legs. Its eyes are glowing red as it surveys those who would dare to intrude on the announcement that his Grand Führer was about to give, and it growls menacingly, which turns into this long, drawn out howl that carries across the space, and it looks like it's getting ready to charge you.
Great. I am going to charge it first with my saber.
Ooh.
Saber?
Nice.
With my saber, yes. Okay, so that is brawl. Let's
Okay.
charge.
So just so you know its stats, it has a threat of 10, and a challenge of 1. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yay. And if I roll better than it, I am going to take a sip by hit.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay. Are you kidding me?
Oh no. Is this oh yes or oh no?
For you guys, it's oh yes. Especially considering this, it does not say this one abides by the critical rule. So the 6 it rolled, it only counts as 1 success. Otherwise, it rolled 2 2s and 2 1s. So you have 1 point of damage coming your way that you can either soak or take as needed.
Wonderful. I rolled 2 successes.
Nice. Okay, so I would probably recommend soaking this. Uh,
Yes.
okay. All right.
You say that there's 6 dice attacking us?
They're actually 5. He rolled a 6,
Oh,
but it would have,
only.
yeah,
Only
5.
5. Great.
The last guys were rolling
Oh,
6.
Great.
The last guys were rolling 6, so they could have been worse.
Okay, so I pierce the werewolf with my magic cavalry saber, and as the blood flies, I go ha
All right.
and
Uh,
drink.
it does have a challenge of 1, which means armor, but I like the cinematics of that. So you do
Excellent.
manage to give it just a flesh wound, is what it ends up being, but the blood does spray out a bit, and it seems like the wound closes kind of quickly. I'll just do that for thematics. And the spray that hits your face tastes of sweat, meat, and cheap leather. So, yeah,
Delicious.
it has like a little tiny scratch mark along its side after that. But you at least didn't take any damage.
Did I get a blood?
I'll say yeah. Just
Okay.
for thematic sense, I'll say yes.
Yay!
All right. So, who's next?
Maybe one fight this thing. This sounds terrible.
Ooh. Well,
What
I'm
if I-
once again gonna roll for pant shitting.
The werewolf goes over and smells your butt.
Nah, wish I had some silver bullets in my revolvers right about now. But since I don't, I think I'm gonna rely on old Betsy and Maria one more time here
Okay.
and take some shots at this old doggy.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to consent to a duel though.
Well, I reckon that's why I'm only rolling 4 dice.
All right. Okay.
I got a 5 and a 6.
Okay, he got a 4, a 5, and a 6, and then 2 2s. So sadly, that is at least 1 wound you'll have to take.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this guy hits hard enough that when you take an injury, you mark off all available check boxes in whatever category that injury is in. So it's called Rending Claws is his ability. So hope you roll one that you've already taken a point in, so that it's not as bad as it could be.
Well, Well, so I have a question about this one.
Yes.
So this puts me at shot full of holes, which says spend one blood at the start of your turn. What happens
Okay.
if I don't have any blood remaining?
Oh,
Uh, Let me see on that. Quick look. That is a good question. Spend one. Okay,
I
I
like a
see it.
good question.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say if you don't have any blood to spend, you'll be rolling whatever you roll at one less die. So subtract one die from your dice pool. I think that's the only thing that makes sense in terms of that.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Um, okay, so that's all the damage I had to take.
Yep.
Did ch my success is still counted against him though, or no?
Were you using them to absorb the other damage he was going to do?
Oh, I guess so. Damn it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah.
Well, you know what though? Corrosive fluids.
Oh, right, right. Yeah. So he does have a challenge of one, but it still gets through that. So yeah, that takes him down from a 10 to a 9.
Yay,
Uh,
we're so close, you guys.
so yeah, he like rears back and like, as your bullets whip past him and just lays into you, just slashes across the chest. But what he doesn't account for is the spray that hits him in return. So that actually gives him a bit of pause. Like he takes a half step back as he like
Sounds
rubs
like
at
he's got a
his
lot of paws.
but
yeah.
dumb tish. Yeah, so he takes this half step back as he's like brushing at his fur in a bit of confusion. Um, Next.
Can
Okay,
I just ask like a game master question?
sure.
If I were to like just try to straight up implant a memory that he only has intense hatred, he's gonna go kill Hitler, would he go do that for us if I was successful?
Oh,
Or
Let me
Ooh.
look at that ability.
we
does
just
not
get this
work on
thing to go,
werewolves.
we walk up to the final room and it's dead and Hitler's dead, and we're like, "Yeah."
Let's see. Which one was that? That was
That is
memory
called
memory
memory
rot.
rot.
Okay. You need a success, and you need to beat his challenge. You can give it a try. You can certainly give it a try.
It's got 5 dice.
Uh, yes.
What would I roll? Convince?
It would be that or terrify. I mean, I could see an argument for either one.
I don't know.
If you can figure out any way to like use your bottled ghosts to assist with this, I'd let you do that.
So, can you use multiple equipment in the same turn or not?
You can
Are you limited?
use a piece of equipment and you can use
Okay.
an ability.
Okay.
So you can double up equipment and abilities, but not like two equipments.
Uh, can I consult the rest of the team?
Go for it.
What do you guys think about this crazy idea? Is this stupid or is this actually good? I don't really know what would happen with this.
I mean, it's pretty crazy, but we're in a pretty tough spot right now. I mean, as a bit of a Hail Mary, it might be worth a shot. I don't know.
I mean, I love the creativity behind it for what that's worth.
So what would he need to roll for this to work?
So he
Yeah.
would need to get. I mean, assuming there's no damage coming his way, he would need, which I mean, depending on how it rolls, that might be the case. He would need to roll at least past its challenge, so past its armor. So he would need to at least roll two successes and not die in the process. Because I'm gonna say if he attempts this and this thing just rolls like 5 damage against him, and he just has two successes and rolls that, I'm gonna say it tears him apart before he has a chance to implant the memory.
You can do this, Cosgrave.
And how do we die? Just so I'm clear on that.
So you die when all of your wounds are filled up,
Uh-huh.
and basically you can't take any more damage. So if taking
Uh-huh.
all of that would put you past where you can actually take damage, then yeah. And I should also say, if more than 3 dice worth of damage are coming at you, then you are knocked out of commission, not dead, but basically your teammates have to like wake you back up to let you continue the fight. So if you take
What
more
happened?
what was that?
What
Oh,
happens if you take more damage in like a specific category than you already like if you already have both knocked off and you get another one?
it's a good question. Then you pick another category with an empty spot to put that damage
Okay.
into. Yeah.
You can do it, Cosgrave.
I might roll like
When
crap.
does Last Stand activate?
That activates as you're
When you
dying.
die.
Eh, eh, hmm.
So yeah, it is your last final hurrah to try to sway things in your favor. So let me know if this is what you want to do, and we'll go from there.
Do It's happening. I'm gonna do
Okay.
a convince roll,
Okay.
but I am going to bust out Mother Millicent's stolen soul jar that I have on my person, usable once per game, to
Okay.
give me 3 additional dice.
Yep. On anything, so that works.
So plus citizen equipment, so that would bring me to 7, I believe.
I believe so.
And then do I spend the blood now to do the advance, or when do those happen?
You got your advance. So you spend it to activate that. So yeah, you spend the blood now.
Okay, so I'm going to spend 1 blood now to do memory rot, lock eyes with. I'm going to lock eyes with this creature.
And since you're using that is technically an ability, that gives you one more die.
Oh,
My God, you
all
got
right.
this.
And then I'm going to implant a memory of Adolf Hitler as his sole enemy, and Hitler beating him repeatedly, causing him harm, and revenge is the only thing on his mind. He
Grabbing
must
his
find
mom by the
Hitler.
pussy. I mean, what?
He must kill Hitler. Okay.
All right. So it rolled. You have 3 damage coming your way.
You can do it.
You can be our hero, Cosgrave.
Good fuck.
What was
All
that?
right, I have 4 6s,
Ooh.
a 5, and a 4.
Oh my God. So that's 8, 9, 10. Even if you
Woo!
absorb all 3 of those damage, that's still 7, which, I mean, even if you were just trying to hurt him, that would bring him down to like
Weird.
3. So yeah, I'm going to say this works. I mean, I love the creativity that happened here.
Woo!
And so
We're gonna be eating
yeah,
so much pudding later, Cosgrave.
I mean, yeah, that is fantastic as an idea. So yeah, it's snarling at you. It looks like it's about to charge, and then you're just like, wait, remember what he did to you. And it's like his mind sort of like goes like unhinged slightly as this memory floods his brain of how he never wanted to be this thing. He sure he wanted to serve the cause, but he never wanted to abandon his humanity. And just like all of these conflicting thoughts, and they're flowing through his now half animal brain as he's like struggling internally. And then you just see the change like come over him, where he's still growling, but that he's turning to look at the door that he just busted through, and stomp, stomp, stomp as he's getting closer. And you see a tiny little figure peering around the door frame with a tiny little mustache and shitty hair that sees this happening. He's panicked, yelling in German, like, no, no, what are you doing?
Nine,
You
nine, nine.
nine, you serve me. You're guessing this is what he's saying. I made you what you are. Without me, you would be nothing. That sort of thing. And as he sees his words are having no effect, or if anything, pissing this guy off even more, he disappears behind the door, and you hear like the sound of maybe a closet slamming, and the werewolf just trumps further, the growl deepening. Do you follow him to witness what he's about to do?
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
duh.
All right. So yeah, you follow along behind, and you hear like this frightened whimpering, from a closet door, and stop, stomp, and there's like bang, 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 bang. Bullets tear through the closet door itself, and but Eddie that hit this beast, it just seems to shrug them off, and it reaches out and tears the door off its hinges. It goes pinging against the wall, smashing something on the controls in the bridge of the Zeppelin, and you see Hitler curled up into a little ball, like snot dripping out of his nose, sweat pouring off of him, and you see him bringing the gun up, and it's like click, 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 and the werewolf howls and like leaps into the closet, like breaking the frame, and just you hear anguish screaming as it is tearing Hitler limb from limb, just as he's whimpering and begging for his life. And you don't know what the werewolf is going to do after this point, but now might be a good time to exit.
But we
So
we gotta drink that blood.
That well, I mean, a leg goes flying past
Ooh.
where you guys are standing,
Shoink.
actually into the yeah. You reach up and grab it as it's sailing over your head. There's some blood there.
Like a German boot glass.
Yes, the
I
blood is
love it.
pooling into his
Mm.
leathery goose stepping boot, and there is enough there for all of you to have a taste.
I thought victory would taste pretty sweet, but I have to say, this is one sauerkraut.
It
Well
does not
played,
taste
sir.
like ein Berliner, does it?
Uh, the description the book gives is nice and simple. Uh, what does Hitler's blood taste like? Amphetamines.
I love it.
I do too. All right. So, yeah, it's a matter of there is still the werewolf, but he is going to be occupied for a while. You can try to make your escape, or you could try to theoretically talk him into joining you if you wanted. But functionally, at this point, the game is you've won. You can basically you can describe what you guys do in the immediate future and as the war ends. So yeah, this is all you guys. This is all storytelling as how you spend the time after the war. So I mean, take a minute to think over how you want to approach it. But yeah, it is a chance to kind of do a victory lap and say that this is how you're going to spend life in a now more peaceful world, kind of a thing.
Would Japan surrender?
It is. It's interesting you say that because in the back of the book, there's a section for further adventures. And basically it says the GM is free to construct these on as they see fit. But one of them is going after Hirohito.
Hmm.
So if we want to have that as canon, and if at some point we wanted to do another run of this or something, I would be more than willing to try to throw together something for storming Japan.
We
Wow.
gotta keep the band together and continue our adventures, stopping
Well,
tyranny,
Japanese is
dictatorship.
back on the menu, boys.
All right, not how I expected this to necessarily turn out, but
Years later,
I'm
Fang would be overtaken by a mysterious man named Nick Fury, who would then go on to regulate the agency into
Uh, all right. So if we're in agreement that at some point we wouldn't mind doing this again, I can take a stab at the general epilogue for this adventure, and we can go from there. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
I'll
So
go back to Japan.
nice. All right. So with the screams of the small pathetic man who had been hell bent on overtaking the world dying behind you, you are torn about the fate of the beast that you're leaving to feast on his corpse. You don't know if he volunteered for what's happened to him, or if the memory that Cosgrave implanted in him was more accurate than you thought. But probably a bit. Well, actually, I'm gonna leave it here and ask if you do want to try to convince him to join the the Fang group, or are we just going to leave him to his devices? Because he was a Nazi. There is that.
It is my opinion that we burn the Zeppelin with him and the remains of Hitler in it. But what do you think?
One vote for setting the Zeppelin on fire.
Character. Maybe we get a new playable character out of this somehow. Ooh.
Well, I
would
mean,
have to figure out how to-
historically speaking, I don't know if our type of folks and his generally get along too well.
There is that.
And I mean, you could argue that he was,
French and the Germans.
you could argue that he was experimented on and, made into whatever he became against his will, but
He is still a Nazi.
he's still a Nazi, and
If we try to
Yeah.
burn this Zeppelin down, he's gonna come back as a boss eventually in the next campaign.
well, I mean, if the Hindenburg was any indication, there is over a 60% chance that he would survive. So,
But you never know till you try.
He could become the man from Okinawa.
Yeah, the controls for the Zeppelin get damaged in that fight. Is that
Yeah.
yeah, you did mention
something hit
that.
it.
Yep, the door to the closet that Hitler was cowering in pinged off the controls, and they're sparking a bit. You might be able to do something, get it to lift off and maybe crash in the ocean, or if you're looking to use the PA system,
Or
that might
maybe
be
he just becomes a werewolf Zeppelin captain.
I mean, if you leave him to his own devices, who knows?
I'm sure Justin's played that RPG.
I probably have
I've
at
read a
some
book
point.
similar.
Nice.
Maybe
All right.
we
Well,
just let him be and get out.
I kind of feel like we have to put him out of his misery. I mean, especially since he fucked with his mind. I'm sure he was not doing great before, but now he's feeling extra tortured. I think we got to put this dog down.
You want to keep fighting him? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying we burn this Zeppelin down, or
Oh, okay.
That's 2 votes for fire.
I mean, I have 1 grenade left.
There were incendiary grenades on the priests that you killed.
well, there you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, or vampire Jagers, I believe they were called in the book. So yeah, those would certainly set things nicely alight.
burn it then?
Yeah, we should probably burn it. I could spend 1 blood to reanimate Hitler's corpse
There's
Why
not
would
much
you
of it
do
left.
that?
because I can make him dance around and then he's going to explode according to my power. So
Well, you're gonna reanimate some of it in the werewolf's stomach at this point, just like a
That's
foot
true.
kicking around.
fine. All right, let's do it.
All right.
All right.
So collectively, you gather up the incendiary grenades left from the vampire Jagers, prime them. Are you just like trucking them into the cabin where the werewolf is, or just like kind of around the entire interior, or?
I feel like we probably want to spread it around a little bit just to, inflict maximum damage.
Okay. So yeah, you basically prime them to go. The last one you toss is the one that's towards the cabin where the sounds of anger are finally starting to die down, and then I'm guessing you all book it out of there.
Yes.
All right. So you're running away from the Zeppelin down the gangplank, for lack of a better term, and you're making it to the elevator right as the entire thing just goes up in a glorious fireball of just heat and this loud thunderclap of just Nazi killing destruction. There is a what was that?
Hey.
There is a mournful howl that you hear carrying out through the fireball, and
It almost sounds like he's saying Tesla.
and yeah, the entire the Zeppelin deflates and collapses in on itself as the gases inside ignite. It blows up, and then whatever's left kind of rains down, and the force of the explosion knocks you into the elevator, and well, you haven't seen the body, but nothing could survive that, right?
Oh, no.
So yeah, with the top of the Eiffel Tower transformed into a giant torch, you begin your descent down, back down to ground level. And from the side of the elevator, you see squads of Nazis that are pulled up that look like they're going to be reinforcements, just staring, jaws dropped in utter awe and defeat as their leader, the man who was holding this all together, that was going to give them the world, as he is somewhere up there, he is burnt to a crisp, and they will not put up any resistance as you make your way through the city, because that has taken all of the fire out of them. Some of them are openly weeping at losing their great leader. Others are just they just look dejected, like they don't know how to process what has just happened. But here and there, as you're going through the city, you see civilians peeking out of windows, out of doorways, and as realization dawns as to what you've just done, they start to cheer. There are just multitudinous shouts that start to come out from the surrounding buildings as people realize what has happened, and that this vile pestilence of a man that had landed in their city is now no more. They don't know who did it. They don't know how it happened, but this is a cause for celebration. And with that, your drop team comes to pick you up at the city limits, and the adventure might continue, because Hitler wasn't the only dictator in this group. So, I hope you all had
We
fun.
talk about FDR. Come on.
Woo!
Oh, he's an American badass. What are you talking about?
Fang is my name.
Such a fun movie. But yeah, hopefully you all had fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, if there's interest, I can figure out locales of places to visit in Japan if you decide to take the fight there at some point in the future. I'm sure I could come up with some new enemies to throw at you.
Stalin.
Or yeah, if you want to do instead of Japan, if you want to do one of the other countries as well, that's totally fine.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to anger the Russians too much right now.
I mean, you would also have to deal with like winter too, I'm sure.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys do want to continue this, I can certainly put something together.
Sure.
And yeah, pick a
That's some
locale,
fun.
and yeah, I'm glad everyone enjoyed. And I'm again, this has been friends occasionally navigating dungeons, playing Eat the Reich, game available from Rowan, Rook, and Descartes, wherever game books and hobbies are sold. A lot of fun. I enjoyed running this. Sounds like we all had a fun time playing it.
Thanks for
and-
running this, Justin.
Yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
sure thing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're very
Another
welcome.
good one.
I'm glad it went over well. Thanks. And yeah, until then, go punch a Nazi.
Yes.
And but yeah, in all seriousness, tyranny is never something that should be allowed, at least not without a fight. We here at Fond don't advocate for violence, but we also don't advocate for just lying down and letting the world just fall apart. So stay safe out there, but don't just take this lying down. So with that, sorry to end on a bit of a somber note, but I feel it's important.
Friends opposing Nazis daily.
Damn straight. I
Oh,
love it.
yes.
All right. And with that uplifting note, hope you all have a good night or day whenever you're listening to this, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.